With the 2022 race season officially out for summer break, we've got nothing but time to think about all the contract updates we've been getting lately. As with every season, there have been some big surprises, and sadly, a goodbye as well. In today's video, we're talking about the unexpected retirement of one of F1's greatest drivers, and what another icon had to say about it. Let's start with the biggest Formula One heartbreak in years. When Sebastian Vettel finally made an Instagram account, fans were overjoyed to see the German driver make his social media debut. As one of the older drivers on the grid, it was understandable that he hadn't had any official accounts before. Formula One social media is ruled by the other 20-something drivers, so it was a treat to see Sebastian make his way to the app. But the excitement was short-lived because the Aston Martin driver had something very important to post. His first offering on the account was a video with a black and white filter, setting a gloomy vibe for his announcement. He officially announced that his contract with Aston Martin was up at the end of this season, and that he would be retiring from Formula One permanently. Cue the repost, crying emojis, and tributes to one of the greatest drivers in F1 history. As a four-time world champion, he was beloved on and off the track, and fans are heartbroken to see him go. Sebastian was the resident Formula One nerd. The man could recite every world champion in the last 7 decades in order, and fans loved him for it. But as he explained in the video, he dedicated his life to racing, and now he wants to take that energy somewhere else, his family. As a husband and father of 2, he's officially ready for a quieter life, away from the high-speed racing and crashing, not to mention the constant traveling around the globe. He also wants to focus more on the causes he believes in, especially the environment and climate change. As one of the drivers who's been vocal about his support for the women's rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and so on, this is completely expected. The star has previously been open about the environmental concerns that stem from F1 racing, with the fuels being used and teams unwilling to change. After all, Formula E exists, so why mess with Formula One? Sebastian was never on that side, and he's made that clear in the last few years and in his retirement video. He's definitely leaving behind a stellar legacy. With 4 consecutive championship wins with Red Bull, he ties with Alain Prost as the 4th most successful F1 driver, right behind legends like Fangio, Schumacher, and Hamilton. Next, from one champion to another. Vettel is a 4-time winner of the World Drivers' Championship. Who better to speak on him than another legend of the sport? Lewis Hamilton is a 7-time winner, tied with Michael Schumacher for most wins ever. Every driver has had only good things to say about Sebastian, especially off track, and Lewis is one of them, even though he'll continue driving to the 2023 season and possibly beyond. He debuted at the same time as the Aston Martin driver, who then drove for Toro Rosso. The Mercedes driver said that his fellow grid member was there for him through many things, and even made his time in F1 far less lonely. In a sport like F1, it's hard to see a fellow driver as anything other than competition, even if it's your own teammate. But that's not the case here. After learning the news, Hamilton was pretty down about it, even though he said there had been hints in the days leading up to the announcement. Fans were definitely not the ones getting any hints, since Sebastian had been upfront about his intention to keep driving for years until he made the shock announcement. The driver went on to say that while he hadn't had much time to think about it before the summer break, he knows that Seb is one of the people who made a very lonely sport seem less lonely, which is about the highest compliment you can give someone. The Brit went on to talk about how selfless the German is, how he's confident and a powerful figure, and went so far as to say he's one of the greatest people we've seen in this sport, adding that F1 needs more people like Sebastian. Lewis also said that he lost an ally on the grid, but he hopes that they'll stay friends and be able to pursue things together outside of Formula One. For all fans of the sport, these two are the besties we needed. Things haven't always been sunshine and roses between the two though. In the Hungarian Grand Prix in 2017, Vettel ran into Hamilton under a safety car, and he seemed pretty mad when he lost to Hamilton in Canada in 2019. But Lewis confirmed that the rivalry was never personal, only professional, which is understandable in the highly competitive world of race car driving. He went on to say that he always took accountability for his actions, which according to the Mercedes champion is honorable, intelligent, precise, quick. The Brit was full of praise for his fellow driver, and we're here for it. He also referred to him as a good engineer, making a lot of strategy calls on his own. After all, if you've been keeping up with F1, you know Ferrari's strategy is not the most reliable. No wonder the man didn't get any wins during his stint with the Scuderia. The two drivers have been getting closer consistently, and Seb has supported Lewis with many of the causes he believes in. We've all seen the famous picture of the two taking a knee on the track, and it's one of the most wholesome things to come out of the sport. On the wholesome topic, Lewis even wants to meet Sebastian's family, since he knows how important they are to him. He also hopes that Seb will inspire a whole new generation of F1 drivers. Again, if there's anyone who can do that, it's Sebastian Vettel. And this is just the start of the praise. Sebastian has had one of the most impactful careers in F1 history, and young and old drivers alike sang his praises when asked about their fellow competitors' retirement the day everyone found out. Current defending world champion and a shoe-in for the next Max Verstappen understood that a driver's retirement is something everyone sees coming, but it's still tough to deal with. But he agreed that his career was amazing, and that he was a great ambassador for all of F1 racing. He acknowledged his hard work and said that it was time for the German to enjoy. Charles Leclerc is one of his former teammates, so naturally, he was emotional about it. He talked about how much he learned from his teammate and how much he's going to miss him in the paddock. "We feel you on that one, Charles." He even shared a sweet secret and said that Seb texts him every time he's had a tough day. The Monegasque driver has had quite a few of those lately, and he confirmed that his ex-teammate texted him after his horrifying French Grand Prix crash and made him feel much better about it. Fernando Alonso, another older great of the sport, talked about the connection he's had with three big legends, Vettel, Schumacher, and Hamilton, and said he would miss the former as he left, calling him a man with a lovely family and strong values. Everyone's favorite Aussie, Daniel Ricciardo, called him driven, acknowledging everything he learned from him as a reserve driver and then a teammate at Red Bull. And Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz had similar thoughts regarding what he learned from him. At the end of the day, nobody has anything bad to say about Sebastian Vettel, and he'll leave us as one of the greatest drivers ever known to the sport and an inspiration to everyone coming after him. Next, let's talk about the latest on the grid. Seb's replacement will come as a shock. When Sebastian announced his retirement, everyone was sad for a while before turning to the next big question: who would replace him as Aston Martin? We finally have our answer. In the most shocking move of the year, Fernando Alonso is moving from Alpine to Aston Martin. The two-time world champion is impressed with the team and has signed a multi-year deal. Next, Aston Martin saying two goodbyes. While the driver's retirement may be all over the news, Hungary 2022 was also the last race for Bernadette Collins, the head of race strategy at the team. In a heartfelt radio message after the race at the Hungaroring, the exiting driver asked if Bernie could hear him, and then sweetly thanked her for the time they had together. The message made the engineer blush, and we don't blame her for it. But who's replacing Alonso? Fernando's move to Aston Martin has left a seat empty at Alpine, and everyone's bets as to who would take it have paid off. Formula 2 and 3 winner Oscar Piastri has been promoted from reserve driver to Esteban Ocon's teammate for the 2023 season and possibly beyond. He's joining F2 and F3 winners Charles Leclerc and George Russell on the grid, and if they are any indication, he's about to be huge in F1 next year. That's a wrap for this video. What was your reaction to Seb's retirement? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.